got a groove so funky, hey, what do you think? What is it called? It's called a lakeside skirt.
With family and friends and enjoying a holiday and remembering what this season really means. Absolutely. And so we try to make sure we do that. Rita Gregory, how are you doing today?
I'm here, Francine.
All right.
And I also want to wish everyone happy Kwanzaa, second day of Kwanzaa.
Yes, indeed. Miss Nichelle Dowling, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you? Merry Christmas, happy Kwanzaa. Happy, I hope you didn't spend too much. Happy Hanukkah, that's right. Everything.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you talk about spend too much. You know, I always try to put myself on the budget, but I always blow the budget. But anyway, I am one to not overspend, but I do love the holidays. I do love being able to give gifts to the family. So for sure, for sure. Well, ladies, I am super excited about today because we have excellent locations we're going to highlight, but we are going to talk about what Pittsburgh's DSEN is going to be doing in 2026. So let me just go over the agenda. We're going to talk about a special event that's coming up in 2026. We're also, our locations, we're going to talk about Asheville, North Carolina, San Antonio, Texas, and Vienna, Austria. We're going to talk about those 3 locations because we have a special event that we're going to talk about first. So let's get right into it.
A good idea.
Good idea? All right. So we are planning a fantastic cruise for 2026, November 7th through the 14th. We are going to be on the Royal Caribbean Cruise Line and their new ship, Icon of the Seas. So for all you listeners, you can go to Royal Caribbean's website. You can go to Pittsburgh's DSEN's website. And you can also go to Point Breeze Travel's website, which is Nichelle's travel agency. So you have 3 modes that you can take to find out all the good information about the cruise. But in addition to that, we're going to talk about it now. So Nichelle, what do we have in store for our cruise, our first cruise?
Let me tell you. So first off, we got excellent dates because the dates that we got are not within their blackout dates, and which means that whatever current promotion is happening right now with Royal Caribbean, when you pay your deposit, that promotion will be applied, even though we have a contract and we have all balcony rooms and we have ocean view rooms, but the bulk of it, we have balcony view rooms that are reserved just for DSEN listeners. So if you come through the website to register and all of that, you can grab one of those balcony rooms. But whatever promotion, if it's 60% off the second person, if it's an additional credit on the cruise, there's one that's a drink credit because they run different promotions all the time. This is a large corporation. But when you go to fill out all your information to pay for your deposit, the deposit is $250 per person. When you pay that deposit and I transfer that over to the booking, whatever the current promotion is gets applied to your booking.
That's excellent.
Yes, it is.
That's excellent. I
Yeah.
didn't think that we would, get additional
No,
benefits,
but
but
the
that's
dates that we
fantastic.
have, November 7th through 14th, is that small window after people cruise in October and in the fall for the Day of the Dead with Hispanic, all of that. But we're before the Thanksgiving crowd and the holiday crowd and all that. So it's the week in between that, which also means you can bring your children, but there will probably not be a lot of children on the cruise as well because we're in that window for those people who are, what's the word, children of Earth when they're on vacation. But even with that, Icon of the Seas is the ship that we are going to be traveling on, and it has elevated adult-focused party and chill areas. It has an infinity pool where you sit in this infinity pool and you see views of the ocean. They have a day vibe where there's a DJ, but true to Royal Caribbean's theme, they are a little bit of party without the chaos. So you're not going to get the hoopla party chaos, but you're still going to be entertained. They have the Aquadome. Those of us who are Pittsburgh born and raised, we remember when the Civic Arena used to open up the dome. Remember that? How
Absolutely.
amazing that! I saw
Yes.
Prince, and they
Wow.
opened the dome with Prince. Well, they have something called an Aquadome on Icon of the Seas, and basically you sit in this theater type zone, and they're doing acrobatics and night activities, but you get views of the ocean and the sky and the stars and the moon, and it is just wonderful. In the daytime, it just looks like, oh, okay, you get these views, but at night, it is incredible.
Oh, I'm sure
Same
it
space,
is.
same exact space. They have what they call the Category 6 water park. You know, everybody has a name for what they're doing. But basically, it is a water park at sea that has 6 water slides to it, 6 of them. So, you go on some of the cruise ships and there's a line for this and a line for that. And not to say that Icon of the Seas is going to not have a line, but when you have 6 water slides attached to a water park, your line is minimized.
This
And
is
of
like a
course,
floating city.
it is. It
Actually
Absolutely.
is.
really is.
You're talking about a
Eh,
dome that
which is why
opens
they
and
don't
oh my
say
goodness.
decks. Instead, that what they have are different neighborhoods, and they have different neighborhoods. One is more of a park. Another one is like you're on the boardwalk. Another neighborhood, because it's a rolling on the sea city, and we're going to stop at St. Martin and Phillipsburg. We're going to stop at St. Thomas. Those will be full days where we're there, so you can do excursions if you like to do excursions. And of course, there's the perfect day at Coco Cay, which is Royal Caribbean's private island. And we're going to have a special reserved section for DSEN listeners so that they'll have their own place. They won't be hunting around for a stool or a chair. We're going to have that reserved for them, and it's just going to be a wonderful time. While we're on the cruise, we're going to do some trivia, pass out some, prizes for trivia and all of that. Of course, we'll have a welcome cocktail as well as a farewell dinner so that we can the welcome cocktail is so you can look around and see like-minded, chill people, and you'll get to see who else has been listening to the radio show that maybe you weren't aware. And let me be clear, it is not just limited to the radio listeners. If you and your family have been talking about going on a holiday cruise or going on a cruise together, bring everybody. Let everybody come along. All the pricing and everything is on the website. Like I said, our contract is under balconies and views. We have some because people don't like balconies. They have a fear of falling out. Um, so we have some with just ocean views. But if there's a cabin that is not within our contract that you want to stay in because you are a cruise veteran, reach out to me and I can always get that cabin added. Because they have
Excellent.
staterooms and they have suites and there are some people who want that more elevated. I don't know about you, but I don't plan to stay in my cabin that long, so I don't necessarily
Right.
need all the cabin amenities. I'm more excited about everything else. So
Absolutely. Rita, what do you think about this cruise And this is maybe the first one of many events we're going to have throughout 2026 in locations. But for Pittsburgh's DSEN, first cruise on the Royal Caribbean's Icon of the Seas. I even love the name.
I know. Well, I love it. I'm a cruise fanatic.
Okay.
I flew for 33 years, but there's absolutely nothing like a cruise.
Right.
And I'm really excited about it. And listening to Nichelle's description of some of the things, I'm ready to go home and start packing. So I'll see you ladies later.
I know. I'm so excited because I love a cruise also. I haven't been in years on a cruise. And I just know for people who say, too much water. And, I actually had that experience with my mom years ago because she wasn't a swimmer.
Mm-hmm.
But let me tell you, she took one for the team. We went on a cruise, and my mother absolutely loved it.
So did my mother.
Oh,
Was up on the top deck seeing that beautiful ocean, and she wasn't afraid. She was just, both of us were just in awe.
Right.
And so for me, a cruise is just kind of like the perfect vacation because you can be on the water, enjoying all the amenities that are on a cruise, which brings it all together. Nichelle talked about going to a water park, so here in Pittsburgh, we have to drive there, right? But then you have that dome activity where you have to drive somewhere else. So, my whole point is we're going to get all these excursions. You could do as much as you want or as little as you want,
Exactly.
and it's going to be all on the ship. But then the extra benefit is getting off the ship and going to the various islands and the beach. I mean, whoever came up with the concept of a cruise was like a genius.
And what's so nice about, especially the time that we're going, is that it's after hurricane season. And most of the cruises I've taken have been during this time frame.
Oh, excellent.
So you're not going to get a lot of, I've heard so many times people talking about, young people get on and create such toys, and you don't have that. Just a good, relaxing, entertaining.
I agree. And like I said, you can, like for me, I agree with Nichelle. I'm not planning on being in a room a whole lot, because this is going to be my coming back to the cruise. And I want to do everything. I want to see everything.
Right.
When I go into my room, I want to be able to relax, fall asleep, and then, get recharged, right? But also, I just think being able to be in that group setting with like-minded people, and as Nichelle said, it's not only open to Pittsburgh's DSEN listeners.
Right, it's anyone.
It's open to your family, your friends, your colleagues. We already have folks who are interested in signing up, and they ask that very question, can we bring other people? And the answer is absolutely yes. So, for our listeners, if you want to get more information, we're going to continue to talk about the cruise, but let me also give you the phone numbers for you to call in right now if you have questions. So the phone number to give us a call, 412-213-8995, or a little bit on the shy side, you can text. And you can text at 412-218-3888. And so, Nichelle, you talked about when, and I want to dive a little bit deeper into the where. So how do we have it set up for those who want to come, like where we taking the ship out of? What's kind of like our agenda for the 7 days?
So for the 7,
want that.
Yeah, so for the 7 days, well, first off, if you are a DSEN listener or you just grown folks, you want just enough activity and just enough leave me alone, let me do my own thing.
Yes.
Right? There has to be a good balance. And so as myself, Francine, Rita, we sat and talked, and so the agenda is open and loose, but at the same time, we're always going to have at least one or two pieces where we connect with one another. So the ship is going to depart out of Miami, Florida. So I'd advise you to start looking at tickets now. Flights are not included, but flights are not included because it allows you, the traveler, to use your points, to go through your credit card, to go through all the things that Rita and myself and Francine have been talking about for months now. Pay attention because all of these different, you have all these credit cards, you have different insurance, perks, AAA, different things that will give you additional discounts or help you to locate, or Expedia. There are some people who've been dealing with Expedia for so long, they get cheap flights.
Yes.
They get discounted on things that you and I don't see. So that's on the 7th. So we'll be departing from Miami, Florida. You'll also, along with electronic documents, I'm a paper person. I'm also going to send you paper travel documents so that you have them with you, right?
Gotcha.
So if your phone gets frozen or
That's
you
right.
can't get it, so that you have
Right.
that with you. We'll have a WhatsApp group so that we can all connect and talk, and we'll put in there any updates if something happens last minute, just so that you're aware, and reminders on the ship of maybe some things that are happening. And on the 8th and the 9th, we're going to be cruising. That's when the boat will be in full swing and cruising. And as soon as you arrive on the 7th, that evening, we're going to have a welcome cocktail so that you can also meet some of the other people who have decided to sign up for the cruise the same time that you did. Maybe your whole family's coming, or maybe, you just want to, it's just you and your wife, and maybe you have different likes. My husband likes to do. I like to just go by the seat of my pants. The upside to being around a group
That's
is
right.
you're going to find somebody, right? You're going to find somebody who likes to do things how you like to do them. That's the great part about a group, because it's hard doing a group and everybody has different likes and
Absolutely.
things. When you're on a cruise, if you go on a cruise, my personal opinion, and you say, "Oh, there was nothing for me," you probably need to get more intense therapy with your therapist.
I
Because
agree.
if you like quiet and to chill, there are
Right.
corners for that. There are places for that. If you just want to read a book, if you just want to watch movies all day long, if you want to do gaming, if you want to sit and play board games, or you have a board game you want to bring with you and you're looking for other people to play. Casino person, there's always a little bit of that. A water person, a workout person, maybe you're trying to get back to your health. Well, now you have these chefs, right, to make these meals, these healthier meals for you that you don't have to slave over. So there is nothing, I don't think. Excellent spa services, we haven't even talked about that.
Oh, please,
and,
let's.
and
I'm a
they have
spa girl.
hydrotherapy.
Yes.
Yeah, they have hydrotherapy. You can get a facial. And because it's a cruise ship and because there's competition, they're trying to keep up with whatever the latest trends are, right? Whatever the latest to do. So even if, you know, you have to check availability, but sometimes the spa even has the Botox therapy if you're a Botox person, or what have you. So excellent spa service. You might spend the entire day with the spa. The difference is when you're here and you're in your house and you spend the day at the spa, you still got to get dressed and get either back in your car or your Uber and go back home.
That's right.
For this, you'll leave the spa probably with the same robe on, walk down the halls,
Yes.
go through the elevator, and go to your room and lay down. If that's your choice,
That's
right?
right.
Or you
That's
might
right.
go to the infinity pool and just find a lounger and chill.
Sit out on the
Sit up
deck.
by the pool.
Sit on the deck or your
Yes.
balcony.
Yes.
Yes.
in your
Absolutely.
suite.
You have lots of options. Lots of
I
options.
never was really into cruises. I've booked a ton of them, but my cousin Dondra, who is a cruise lady, she's cruised everywhere. She said to me, because I said, "Well, what do you like better about a cruise than just a straight land?" And she said, "I only have to unpack once."
That's
And when
true.
she said that, that was like a light bulb. Because think about it, we're leaving from Miami to go to St. Martin. And when we're in St. Martin, we're going to experience that blend of Dutch and French culture
Love it.
and the food. And for those who are shopping, there's always tchotchkes to buy at these different places. But for a day, you'll be able to take that in, as opposed to being either on a cruise ship or in a restaurant and ordering that food, you'll be able to actually walk into the restaurants there and order your meal. We're there from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. So that is plenty of time to have a wonderful lunch, to take a stroll, all of those things. And then
That's like a full day at work. You know what I mean?
it's a full day.
If you think about it that way, that's a full day. So you can do so many activities in the morning.
Yep.
Right.
Then
Yeah.
you can have lunch midday, and then you can continue your activities afterwards. And then you think about it when you get off from work, then you're going home. In this case, you're going back to the
on
ship. It's a full day.
And then when you wake up the next morning, we'll be in St. Thomas.
Hey, now you're taking me back to when Kevin and I got married, and our honeymoon was a cruise on Royal Caribbean, and one of the islands we went to was St. Thomas.
And I got married in St.
That's
Thomas.
right, Rita.
Oh,
That
wow.
is right. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Oh my goodness.
And we'll
Excellent.
be there from 7 a.m. until 2:30.
Okay.
So just a little bit after lunch. So you'll still have the day to explore, to take in the cuisine, or, some people just want to stretch their legs from being on the cruise ship,
Right.
right?
And Nichelle, you
And
know what I would do that day? For me
what?
personally, I'll get
Uh-huh.
up early. I'll have breakfast. Since we're leaving at 2:30, I'll have breakfast. I'll do all my shopping, all my sightseeing, and then when I get back on the ship, I'll have lunch. So
Ooh.
yeah, I don't want to
Budget.
miss
We are
any
always talking
time.
about the budget,
That
right?
but I don't want to miss any time on St. Martin's. I'll probably, as you walk around, grab something to eat. You know what I mean? Something light, as I'm walking, whatever. I don't want to sit down and have a full meal because I don't want it to be like an hour doing something, right? So I'll just grab something quick and keep it moving, so I can maximize my time on St. Thomas. And
Can
then
I tell you a secret?
yes, ma'am.
Outside of the cruise, I book people all the time because, I also just book hotels across the country, here in the United States, et cetera. People don't want to pay extra for breakfast included.
Mm-hmm.
But the secret is, if you are vacationing, I don't care what your budget is. You could be $1 million baller. Why not eat breakfast first if it's included? Why not eat breakfast? That's
Absolutely.
one less thing you have to purchase.
Absolutely.
I've traveled to various places. Rita has traveled triple, double, all of us.
Exactly.
And I have yet to see an actual, quote unquote, unique breakfast anywhere where it's just that unique, where I say, no, I'm not eating because I'm going to eat breakfast wherever. So eat breakfast. Eat breakfast. That's at least $10 to $15, sometimes $20 to $25 that you don't have to spend.
Absolutely.
And that's more shopping money, more spa money.
That's
more
what I
drink,
meant in the show.
more
I'm
drink
going to
money.
eat on the cruise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm going to grab something early so I can get off the ship at St. Martin's. While I'm there, I'm sure I'll get hungry, but I don't want to spend a lot of time sitting eating.
Yeah.
So I'm going to grab something on the fly. And then when I get back to the ship, because now, I've been walking around for like 5-6 hours, so I'm busted up, right? And I'm going to go back and I'm going to go on to one of those decks, neighborhoods, whatever we're calling them, and I'm going to get me something to eat, that I sit down and relax.
You talk about the breakfast. Honestly, I don't eat eggs very often, but there's something about an omelet on the ship. They are to die for. I don't care what ship I'm on. I love having someone make an omelet for me out on.
Well, I tell
So
you,
good.
the food, and everybody knows that cruises are known for food, and they're known for when you get off the ship, you might weigh a few more pounds more than when you got on the ship, and the food is fantastic.
Oh,
It is. It's like 5-star, restaurant or top of the line. And when I am on that ship, I'm gonna enjoy every morsel that I have. I mean, you can't go on a cruise and say, oh, I'm not gonna eat this and I'm not gonna eat that. What I would suggest is eat till your heart's content and take some of the fitness classes, because they'll have yoga, Pilates. They'll have all different type of aerobic classes, and that's what I generally do.
Yeah, walk around the track.
Walk around the track. I mean, there's going to be so much you can do, and for our listeners, for everyone who's going to be going, the whole thing is to have fun and enjoy yourself.
That's right.
Just totally enjoy yourself. So don't worry about, I can't have this, I can't have that. When actually you can. Just make a plan. Make a plan.
Make a plan.
You'll see me in the fitness classes because I know later on that day I'm going to be going to the captain's dinner, whatever they call it. And I'm going to want to sample a little bit of everything because the seafood is going to be, oh my goodness, it's going to be off the hook. I mean, you know what I mean? And I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, well, I don't want to eat this because, no, Francine's going to eat it. I am. I'm just going to be honest with myself. But Francine is going to get in a fitness class or walk around, as Rita said, walk around that ship and get my exercises, get my 10,000 steps. So I'm sure I'll get that and more every day that we're there. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Nichelle, we're cruising once we leave St. Thomas, then where?
Then we're going to cruise for a day. So you'll have another full day on the cruise ship. And then the following day is where they will stop at Perfect Day at Coco Cay. So now what this is Royal Caribbean's private island. So it gives you an opportunity to truly lay on the beach all day. Of course, there'll be drinks and food because what would anything connected to a cruise be if they did not offer you drinks and food?
Right.
But there are water slides, all the beach things that you would normally do on a beach. So there's volleyball and people will be playing oh gosh, the thing just escaped me because I was thinking about how competitive people get with volleyball, and that just came into my mind because you have all these people, and people are on vacation. People are so much friendlier when they're on vacation.
Absolutely.
So even if you're coming and you like to do something, and people will be playing, it's not horseshoes now. They call it something else with the sandbags. I can't think of the name of it.
Oh, I know
Off the
what
top
you're
of my
talking
head.
about, and everybody loves to do that, especially when you have
Cornhole.
Cornhole, yes.
Cornhole.
Yes.
I believe cornhole came about because people felt too challenged with the horseshoes. So
Okay.
they made it a little bit simpler with the holes in the back. But there'll be all sorts of things like that. And again, there'll be music, there'll be a DJ. You can party if you want to party, but the island is large enough that if that's not your scene and your scene is just sitting on the beach there listening to the waves playing in the ocean, then let that be your scene, and you'll be able to just do that. Once again, that's the glory and wonder of this cruise is that there is pieces and parts for everyone.
Absolutely.
And so after a full day that we are going to spend on the beach, then we will board the ship at 5 p.m. for our final dinner. We'll change clothes. We'll have our final dinner as a group. And then the next day we'll be back in Miami.
Nice.
And
Well,
remember,
I
too,
am
this
excited.
is before the holidays. So we were talking about food. So you haven't consumed all the sugar cookies yet. You haven't had the turkey yet. You haven't had the cranberries and the pies. So you are coming off of the cusp of your healthy summer and fall. That's what you're doing. And so you should be healthy enough to sample everything, to eat everything, and healthy enough to do everything. God willing.
Well, Nichelle, I actually have a question for you that
Okay.
some of the listeners might have this question. And let me just give the number really quick again. So if you have questions for us about Pittsburgh's DSEN cruise that we are going on November 7th through the 14th, 2026, you can call us at 412-213-8995 or feel free to text us 412-218-3888. Now, wonder if there might be a person who wants to go, but they're diabetic. And we already talked about how good the food is. Will they be able to have special food prepared for them that won't have all the sugar in it, etc.? Or someone who might have, high blood pressure, they can't have all that salt. So what do they do in terms of that? Like when they pay their deposit, is there some information they need to give to you
They can,
so that
what they
gets
can
to the
do,
cruise line, or what do you suggest?
what they can do is put that, because there's a section when they go to register that says, is there anything additional? And they can put in there that they're diabetic. They can put in there if they're vegetarian, they're allergic to certain things, and we give that to the cruise ship.
Okay.
And that is a part of their reservation. But also, when you're on the cruise ship and you're going down the line, there are always servers there. There's always a maitre d' to ask and say, I'm diabetic. Do you
Right.
have special diabetic food? Or I would love to eat this, but it has too much salt in it. Can the chef please make this for me without a lot of salt? Absolutely, right? Because they're there to please. They're the Chick-fil-A and the Walt Disney on water. They're they're there to make you happy. But just ask that. In some cases, in some of the areas, like especially like the buffet areas, it's going to be labeled. On some of the menus, you might see it labeled like gluten-free or and stuff and things like that. But I would always, if you go into these different restaurants, just as a reminder to them, because they're seeing thousands and thousands of people, of course, just to say, oh, I'm diabetic. Is there anything on this menu, specific to me, to my dietary needs? And in some cases, what they'll say is, well, let me know what you want, and we can adjust it.
Right. And one other a key point to mention also is that there are a lot of people who are on kidney dialysis these days. And a lot of the ships are able to handle blood product. And so the infirmary we have to check to make sure that if you're interested and you are on dialysis, to see if the icon has the ability to handle your situation. If not, depending on the days of the week that you have your dialysis, a lot of the ports, for example, St. Thomas is a U.S. port. And so they will have, in fact, I'm pretty sure they do have a facility not far from where we dock where you can go have your dialysis treatment.
That's an excellent point, Rita. So there again, we're just saying it will be an opportunity for everyone to come and join Pittsburgh's DSEN. Come meet all of us as the host.
Right.
Also, just come and bring family and friends and enjoy the beautiful islands of St. Thomas, St. Martin's, Coco, which is a private beach, Coco Cay. That's excellent. Now, we do have a text. Let me just read that quickly here. It says, hi there. Will there be a set dinner time for the Pittsburgh's DSEN group?
Yes. The set dinner time, I believe, is either 6 or 7 for the DSEN group currently. Excellent. So that is the set dinner time for our group. They wanted it initially, and this goes back to, working with people and my relationship with the suppliers and all of that. They wanted it to be earlier at 5. And I just, and I also just started looking at the different activities and things that people might be doing.
Yes.
And the dinner, and let's be clear, the dinner is not required, because you may have some nights where you want to skip the full dinner with the group and you just want to have a private dinner with maybe whomever you came with or whoever you're with or some new friends that you've made. Or you want to eat somewhere else or do something else. Maybe there's a game on. And while we're talking about that, the itinerary specific to DSEN is not going to interfere with the fact that this is actually your vacation. So we're going to have a welcome cocktail the first night so that everyone can see each other, say hello, talk to each other and all of that, and get to know one another. We're going to have an afternoon where we do some trivia, and we'll be doing trivia, sports trivia of all sorts. We'll have another day where, as a group, we're going to meet and party, and some of the music will be curated by DSEN, and we're going to work with the DJ on ship about that. And then lastly, we'll just have a farewell dinner. And that's it. Well, let me take that back. Let me back up a step. We'll have a reserved area for us that'll be labeled for DSEN when we go to Perfect Day at Coco Cay. And then we'll have our farewell dinner, and that'll be it. So as much as this is for DSEN listeners, we also recognize that this is your vacation, and we do not want to interfere with you just having some fun before the holidays.
Absolutely. Rita, any final words? Because we are going to wrap up our first session. I mean, I'm geeked up.
Yes, me too. Question. Okay, the deposit is $250 per person, so that's $500 for the cabin, correct?
Yep.
Or two.
Yes.
Now, if someone decides not last minute, but someone puts a deposit down, and they think maybe 2 or 3 months out from the cruise that they're not going to be able to make it, how much of that be refunded back to them, or can be refunded?
Depending on the dates, there's a scale where you can get between 50 to 40% of that back, of your deposit back. You'll be able to get that back. So it just depends.
Yes.
It depends on the window that they cancel. Also, this is where your cancel for any reason insurance comes in.
There you go.
Because your insurance will then cover, depending on your reason for canceling. Maybe you had to work, maybe someone has gotten sick. I had one lady one year, and actually someone died, and they had made her the executor. It was a friend of hers. And so because of that specific situation, she gave me power of attorney because she was trying to deal with so much, and I did the paperwork for her, because really you, the customer, has to do it. There's nothing really I can do except supply you with documentation. But I went through it, and it's a very simple process, right? If you do it, going back to what Rita said, during hurricane season and different things like that, the wait is going to be longer online, but that's where travel insurance comes in, where it will then cover possibly what you didn't get back. But this is also where once you book your cabin, check with your credit card, check with some other insurance you may have, to see if they will cover your vacation. If they say no, then reach out to me, let me know, and so that you can get your travel insurance. Because that travel insurance, depending on the level that you get, it can cover incidentals if your flight is delayed. It just the gamut, because you never know what will never happen may happen.
Right. And I had one last question, and it just
So we'll come back to you,
back.
Rita.
Okay.
So, Rita, Nichelle, the last
I'll be
thing
here
I
all
want to
day.
say. The last thing I want to say, so folks can go. How do they get in contact with us to start booking their trip? And so again, there's 3 different ways. The one is you can go to the Pittsburgh DSEN website, so www.pghDSEN.com. Nichelle, why don't you give your website and then contact information?
Yeah, it is pointbreezetravel.com. Point Breeze, neighborhood in Pittsburgh, travel.com. Go to that website, click on upcoming trips, and you will see all the details about the dates we're leaving, the pricing for the cabins, the deposit amount. Also, you'll see what the cabins look like so that you can truly see what you want, the sizing, the bedding, all of that. Some interesting details about the ship itself. And then, of course, my contact information, Nichelle at pointbreezetravel.com, or you can text me at 720-316-6082. You can call or text me there. And I'm here to answer all your questions, help you out if you're trying to register and it's confusing to you. I made it as simple as possible. But, if it's new, it's new. If it's something you've never done, if it's something you've never done. So don't don't feel though you're bothering me, or that's part of having a travel agent. A
Right.
travel agent is with you from the time you book until, in a lot of cases, the time you return. I just had clients in Eastern Europe. They were in Budapest and Hungary, and they were doing the Christmas markets. They did everything themselves, and then they reached out to me and said, we need hotel rooms. And so I got them hotel rooms in the 2 different cities that they were going to. It's a crew that they are a little adventurous, and they like to do things on their own.
Mm-hmm.
But at one point, their luggage was delayed.
Hi.
Yeah, and they texted me and said, "What can we do?" And they did not get travel insurance through the supplier that I used, but I said, "Well, check with your credit card. Did you use a credit card for the bulk of every?" They said, "Yeah." I said, "Either the credit card you use for the trip or the credit card you use for the rooms, you should be possibly able to connect with them and see if they'll cover some of that or not. And then check with the airlines, because some of the airlines, depending on the situation, will cover maybe a piece or a portion or give you a credit or something. So check with that."
Excellent.
Yeah.
Rita, you remembered your question?
I did. It had to do with your deposit and getting your room. Once you put your full deposit down, can you then select your location within the group of rooms?
So once you do, well, we have a certain area.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's N4, D4. And then once you put your deposit down and you get your cruising ID, you can go into the portal, and all of those different options that are normally available to you
Mm-hmm.
would be available to you, as long as it's within the category that you
Right.
have reserved. Yep.
Well, listeners, again, if you have questions on Pittsburgh's DSEN cruise on the Royal Caribbean Icon of the Seas ship, feel free to give us a call at 412-213-8995 or text us at 412-218-3888. Now, we've gone through a couple breaks, right? So we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to continue the discussion on the cruise, because at the top of the hour, at 1 o'clock, we are going to transition from our cruise talk to San Antonio, Texas. And we're going to have a special guest with us. So hang in there with us. We're going to have more on the cruise. We're going to take a short break, and we will be back.
So
Love that.
Pittsburgh, it's an old school party. Yes, each Saturday we throw it back with some of the best old school music, funk, R&B, old school, rap, hip hop, and all the jams that make you move and dance. Yes, check it out. Each Saturday right here on Pittsburgh's DSEN. All the old school jams, 6 to 11 p.m.
Pittsburgh, have you seen our Sunday radio schedule? Ooh, it is lit. Start the day off with our Sunday gospel music from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. It will inspire you and have you praising the Lord. Then from 3 to 8 p.m., we bring you Sunday jazz melody for all the jazz lovers. Then cap off the night with The Quiet Storm from 8 to 11 p.m. to hear the best smooth, romantic, and soulful R&B sounds of yesterday and today. All that each Sunday on Pittsburgh's DSEN, the place for soul.
Listen
Nichelle Downing. We are talking about Pittsburgh's DSEN's cruise that we are going on November 7th through the 14th, 2026. And if you missed the first part of our show, please go back and listen to it, because this ship, and as we all know, Royal Caribbean is top notch when it comes to cruising. But the amenities on this ship, the schedule of activities we have is fantastic. Rita, what's piqued your interest the most?
Well, it's not like the Gateway Clipper, for one thing.
True that.
I love a balcony. But just the dome, I'm really looking forward to just being there and just looking up at the sky at night while sailing.
You know what that reminded me of when Nichelle gave the description? Circus Soleil, is that
Cirque
what
du
it?
Soleil.
That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
You know, just that whole acrobatics in the sky, and
And there is a performance
exactly
during that
exactly.
time. It's excellent.
I think the thing that piqued me the most, and you guys are going to laugh at this, it's going to be the spa. Of course, the spa, and I would also say going to the islands. Yeah, I can't wait, because it's been a long time since we've been to St. Thomas, and then I've never gone to St. Martin's.
You'll love St. Martin.
Yeah, so I'm excited, and I always like to purchase the authentic art and jewelry, you know, so I'll do a little bit of homework to see what each island specializes in, and that's what I want to purchase.
Yeah.
How about you, Nichelle? Now, you know, we've known you've been on probably hundreds of cruises, but what made you excited about this cruise?
So this year, my focus has been paying attention to how much I give to others and how much I'm not really giving to myself. Right? Last year, I focused more on talking better to myself, like things like you would never say wrong to a friend. So looking at the cruise, I'm looking forward to, like you, the spa. I want to be in that thermal piece of the spa where you're sitting on the heated loungers and the rain shower experience and the massage, and they even do body wraps. So I'm looking to do that. Like Rita, I'm excited to be sitting there to see this show happening with the backdrop of the sky behind it and the stars. I am a bit of a foodie, but I'm excited to stop at the ports, because each one of the ports have I think St. Martin has, it's called guava berry liqueur. And so they do a cocktail specific to that region, and just to try that, because that's something, you could go probably order it, and have it delivered tomorrow, but to have it, it's from that island, it's from that place, and to have experience it there.
It's delicious.
It's like little things like that is where I pay attention to. Oh, what is their specialty? Oh, their specialty is chocolate. Their specialty is whatever. And just to try it there, since that is one of their specialties. So I'm looking forward to that part. I'm looking forward to being, and the other thing, I'm looking forward to being on vacation and casually passing by people that I know.
Yes.
That's going to be
for
nice.
me
That's
another upside to, and why I specialize in curating group travel, and not groups where I put it together and then you sign up or you don't, but like you come to me with your group where you'd like to go and I do it, is because there's just a comfort in that. Like I might decide to just take a stroll by myself, but there's a comfort and safety, and I look over and there's Francine, and oh, maybe I'll walk with her, and then I go to sit somewhere and there's Rita. Do you mind if I sit here? We don't even have to talk, but now I'm sitting with someone as opposed to taking in this experience by myself.
Yeah. In that welcome cocktail party, we'll be able to meet people that we don't know.
That's exactly right.
So, yeah.
You know, one of the things, ladies, what you just talked about brings to mind. When Kevin and I went on our cruise for honeymoon, have our kids. So I'm hoping that both of our kids will be able to go.
That'll
They're
be nice.
grown and working, and I'm hoping that they have this time that we could experience this as a family.
Yeah.
And just thinking back of the great experience I had with sisters, and just being able to be with family, friends, and meeting new friends. Bring in new like-minded people from all different walks of life all across the country. Yeah. And because Pittsburgh DSEN is in 90 countries, we never know. We might have some folks coming from outside of the U.S., which, again, will be great. We're talking about the cruise that Pittsburgh's DSEN is sponsoring. That's the perfect word to say, but we are encouraging our listeners, as well as people who are connected to our listeners, to come join us. I mean, it's going to be fantastic. Royal Caribbean, top line cruise company, and big one as well, right? They don't do anything small, and to be able to have 6 water slides, I can't even imagine how big this ship is. I mean, every time I think every year they come out with like bigger and better. And I remember when we went on a cruise, years and years ago after we got married, we were so tired from the reception and all the activity that one of the things we did is we went to the movies because we needed to decompress and kind of relax. Yeah. And now you're talking about have a performance, in a dome, and just all of the amenities. I think it's going to be just fantastic to just walk around the ship and see all what you can do. The good thing is we'll have an itinerary from the ship, and it'll tell us all the amenities. But I know that they have nightclubs, they have places that you can just, like Nichelle said, you can just chill. I mean, we're talking about just being able to play trivia. But even if you just want to just sit quiet and meditate, I know that they have all different type of fitness classes, yoga, meditation. I mean, there's just so much that you can do.
The other thing is, and this is a selfish thing. I'm just going to put that out there beforehand. You know how for the holidays you get together with your family and you're all at somebody's house and you spend the bulk of the day there and
Absolutely.
Then you leave.
Yes.
But while you were there, you really wanted to, it was your final, it was a chance to finally connect with a cousin or a few cousins, right? Because everybody's so busy. But you don't get a chance to talk to everybody, like to truly have a conversation with everybody. Well, if as a group, we all decide as a family we're going to go on this trip, right? We're going to go on this cruise with DSEN. I now have a week to talk to all of my cousins, to
That's
really
exactly
spend
right.
time
That's a
with
good
them,
point.
to get to know them, because I don't know how you guys' families are, but when we were kids, we saw each other almost every day.
Absolutely.
If not every day, at least once a week, right? And we saw our cousins, so you knew everything about them. Now you're texting, or you're in the family group chat or the family Facebook group, and and you connect haphazardly.
That's
But
true.
this is the opportunity to just slow down and, oh my gosh, I didn't know you like to go to yoga
Right.
too. Yeah, I've been going to yoga. You go to yoga together, right? And that's the morning. And there's no clock.
Oh,
There's no
absolutely.
clock on a cruise ship. It's no clock. Your time is your time. There's no, oh, it's getting late. Oh, we shouldn't. No. Everything is right on time.
Right.
It's
The
I
only
like that.
exception being when it's time to leave that island.
yes.
You get your tail on that.
Don't
on
be
that
late.
ship. Don't be late,
Don't be
because
late.
they
The
will
ship
sail without you.
Yeah, they will leave you, and then you'll have to figure out how to get back to Miami or figure out how to get to the next port,
Mhm.
to catch up with the ship. So, Rita, you're absolutely correct.
If they say 5 o'clock,
They
put
mean
in your
5.
watch 4:30.
4:30.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
There is
Give
a line.
yourself that window. And speaking of that, because I've had clients who have gotten left and they were lucky enough to have their passports. This was back, remember when people would go on a cruise and all they had was a driver's license. Remember that?
Yeah.
But they were lucky enough that they had their passport. But now that we're talking about that, Miss Francine,
Uh-oh.
Yes.
did you get your real ID?
Oh, you know what? It's so funny you would say that. Because Rita and I were talking about that last night. And I told her, I said, well, just been so much going on during these holidays, but my scheduled date to get my real ID is on Monday. And I said, don't tell Nichelle, didn't I? And of course, Miss Nichelle. So, Miss Nichelle, it is Monday. I got my hair done. I'm going to take a cute little picture. And I'll be down at the driver's license place on Monday morning after my staff meeting. So it'll be about 10 o'clock. And I'll be there. So I'm not playing around.
So let's briefly talk about it. To all of those out there who are refusing to get your real ID, they're not taking the biometrics of me. There's none of their business. First off, if you have a cell phone, they already have all your information.
True.
If you're already using biometrics to open your phone, they already have all that information. Right. There are cameras everywhere. They've already taken your picture. So let's just start there. So the information that you're trying to safeguard, they already have. But okay, that's your theory. You want to go with that. If you're going to hold fast 10 toes down to not getting the real ID and not doing the digital stuff, here is your new life. Your new life means you're going to get a card. The card, what color was your card, Francine?
It was red. Like the
okay,
pink
she had a red card.
It was
right.
red.
I was at another airport. I saw a yellow one. So at another airport, but they're going to give you a card, and now you have to go to a separate line, and it's going to take you a little bit longer. For those of you who like to push the limits of boarding, it's going to take you longer to get through security because you're not going to do that. Now, if you are really 10 toes down and you're not doing any of it, you're not doing the biometrics, when you go to any of the European countries, starting mid to late 2026, some are actually going to start in January. And you don't want them to take your picture and take your fingerprint and do all the things, you will turn back around. It will be out of your pocket, and you will not be allowed to enter that country.
So this is real serious.
Right. So I'm not telling you, and I hear all the conspiracy theories, and I would say 50% are right and 50% are wrong, but 100%, guess what? If you don't do it, there are consequences to that. You can wave your American flag and go turn back around and go back to America. You can wave your I'm American citizen, I got freedoms, but you're going to take that yellow or that red card, and you and your freedom are going to go get over to the side.
Freedom. It's not going to work.
Right. You and your freedom going to be over there while they go through and ask you a series of questions and all the things.
And they get irritated. They're like irritated. Right. Like you don't have your real ID. They got low attitude.
It doesn't make any sense.
And they ask you the questions, and you could just see their faces like, okay, go to this line over here. I'm like, oh my God, yeah.
And do not do not reflect their attitude back at them because you're going to be there longer.
That's right.
They're in charge in this moment. They are in charge. So just a little plug about that. Just I'm a safety girl. I'm all about what you need, what you want, what you gotta have.
Right, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, listeners, we are at the end of this segment. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we are going to talk about San Antonio, Texas, and then we will have a special guest who is from that area, part of the Visitors Bureau, and will give us all the information. So please stay with us, and we'll be back shortly.
Looking for a cost-effective way to help increase your company's bottom line? Look no further than Soul Pit Media. With our award-winning print, internet, podcasts, and Soul Pit television options. We can help your business get to that next level. For more information, contact Craig Dawson at 412-407-7685. That's 412-407-7685. And let Soul Pit Media take you to that next level.
Business owners thinking about back-to-school promotions and replacing summer flavors with pumpkin? What about your taxes? Reduce your stress and tax liabilities by planning for tax time now with Cameron Professional Services Group. CPSG takes your goals, values, and visions to create a custom tax plan catered specifically to your business. We work closely with you to ensure that as your business grows and goals shift, so will your custom plan. Located in the Hill District in Pittsburgh, PA, CPSG is a CPA and consultant firm, providing services in accounting, auditing, tax planning and preparation, community development, and operational management. Call Cameron Professional Services Group today at 412-251-0607.
Have you had the Beat by Niche experience? Beat by Niche is one of the top makeup artists in the city of Pittsburgh. She's touched the face of Cardi B, love and hip hop personalities, and various Steeler wives. If you have not sat in her chair, what are you waiting for? Visit beatbyniche.com to schedule your special makeover for all occasions: weddings, graduations, proms, photo ops, and more. Visit beatbyniche.com and experience the touch of excellence.
Pittsburgh, it's an old school party. Yes, each Saturday we throw it back with some of the best old school music, funk, R&B, old school, rap, hip hop, and all the jams that make you move and dance. Yes, check it out. Each Saturday right here on Pittsburgh's DSEN. All the old school jams, 6 to 11 p.m.
Pittsburgh, have you seen our Sunday radio schedule? Ooh, it is lit. Start the day off with our Sunday gospel music from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. It will inspire you and have you praising the Lord. Then from
Right
3
now
to
they
8
have
p.m.,
music playing
we
on the
bring
radio
you
station,
Sunday
and we
jazz
can't hear
melody
it,
for
but once
all the
Francine
jazz
comes
lovers.
back, you'll be able to
Then
hear
cap
her.
off the night
Awesome.
with the
Thank you.
Quiet
I enjoyed
Storm
listening to your
from
interview.
8
You did a
to
great
11 p.m. to
job.
hear the
Oh,
best
thank you.
smooth,
And Merry Christmas
romantic,
to you,
and
if it
soulful
applies.
R&B sounds
It
of
does.
yesterday
It absolutely
and
does.
today.
And happy holidays and
All
almost New
that
Year. So
each
Almost New
Sunday
Year.
on
all
Pittsburgh's
the good things.
DSEN, the place for soul.
Yes, hopefully 2026 will be good for everybody
Amen. Let's claim it.
in a year.
Pittsburgh.
Hello, Pittsburgh's DSEN Travel Fun and Tips listeners. This is Francine Cameron along with Rita Gregory and Nichelle Downing. Our first segment, we actually took 2 segments on the cruise that we will have in November of 2026, the week of the November 7th through the 14th. So we are encouraging everybody to come sail with us. You know, that is our theme, sail with us. Now, we are transitioning to our next segment, and we have a special guest. We are going to be talking about San Antonio, Texas. And so we have Miss Dee Dee. And Dee Dee, pronounce your last name so we make sure we get it right.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Didi Poteete. Sometimes people want to say Didi Poteete, but that blows all credibility. So
Okay.
you can call me Didi. Just call me plain old Didi from
Okay.
San Antonio.
Sounds good, Dee Dee. Sounds good. Thank you so much for joining us. We're excited to talk about your wonderful, wonderful city. So tell us, Dee Dee, what is your affiliation with the city? Are you part of the Visitors Bureau, or what part of San Antonio? Where do you sit?
Absolutely. Great question. Well, let me return the thanks to you. Thank you for having us on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Coming from warm and wonderful Texas, we're proud to be there, and we love all our friends in the Pittsburgh area. So thank you for this honor. We are Visit San Antonio, and we are the official destination marketing organization, the Tourism Bureau, the place to go to find out what to do, what to see, what to eat, where to go in beautiful historic San Antonio.
Well, as you see, we have the right person on the
Yes,
line
we
with
do.
us and actually on our YouTube channel. So again, Dee Dee, thank you for being here with us. What we like to do is we like to talk about several different aspects of the city that we are highlighting. And so the first thing is, what makes San Antonio so unique?
Good question. Starting off with the $1 million question. I love it. Well, I'll go back to our old good friend Will Rogers, right? Sometimes you got to go back into the dusty book and blow off the dust.
All
And
right.
he said at the time, and I still hold it to be true, that there are 4 unique cities in America. And if you close your eyes and I read them off, you're going to say, I can picture my feet right there, and I can smell it, I can feel it, I can taste it. New Orleans, Boston, San Francisco, and San Antonio. And of course, there are many others, and we love all of them, but we sure love being in that good company. And when you talk about San Antonio, one of the most historic cities in America, established in 1718, a place that's so passionate about preserving and protecting and presenting all the history and the culture. We love the blending of the cultures. I know we'll talk more about that in a little bit, and just the ease of getting there and getting around. And we're a city that doesn't throw anything away, doesn't tear anything down. We'd rather let something sit for a couple of decades until we find just the right thing to do with it and make sure it's available and accessible to all. So San Antonio is a place where you go and you feel your blood pressure start to drop. You start wearing colors that don't really go together. All of a sudden you start thinking, why can't I have a margarita? It's noon somewhere. And you're craving for Texas-sized hospitality comes out. So if you haven't been there, we invite you to come, and we appreciate the opportunity to spread the gospel about San Antonio.
Excellent. So tell me, during this Christmas season, what special activities do you have?
Oh, we are definitely one of those great American cities that just turn magical during the holidays. I was just looking online, and I saw the Riverwalk all lit up for the holidays. And the Riverwalk is sort of the heart and soul, the general jewel that goes down. People say, "Is that a real river?" We say, "Yes, it's a real river." And it's almost like a Venice or a Bruges running through the heart of downtown. And it's about 20 feet below street level. And during the holidays, to your question, we turn on several 100,000 lights that not only drip from the trees and twinkle with multicolors, but then they reflect off the water. And it almost makes like a 360-degree glow that you're just under this canopy of trees and you're walking. And, it's historic and beautiful and intimate, and it's a great place to be. And we have events all over town for the holidays, celebrating the multiculture and the beautiful blending of cultures. But downtown's a place to be, but we celebrate all across big and beautiful San Antonio.
Sounds wonderful.
beautiful.
And that was part of our research too. The famous the city's famous Riverwalk. We pulled up
Beautiful.
information. Rita, you've been
Oh
there.
yes, I love the Riverwalk. The Riverwalk area. Just to stroll and look at the crafts and the art. It's just beautiful.
And the food is phenomenal. So I've
Yes.
been several times. I lived in Central Texas for a while. And so I would go down, and anytime, of course, anybody visits, where do you take them? But you take them to the Riverwalk. And it's not just along the canal. There are shops
Right.
and things all around it, as well as like adjacent to it across the street. The Tex-Mex is amazing. The guava bakery, there's a guava I guess you call it a turnover kind of thing. And it is
Mm.
just, it's so fresh and it's so wonderful. The red link sausage.
Oh,
Um, she's like, Dee Dee's like, oh my.
oh
Yes,
my, you're making me hungry.
yes.
Absolutely. And I
The-
I love the way you guys I love, first of all, that y'all use the word stroll. I mean, again, taking us back old school, San Antonio stroll, right? And it is a place where you kind of stroll from place to place. And the Riverwalk itself, like y'all described, is really a district or a region. It's really 15, it now goes 15 miles all the way from the Pearl District down to the Spanish colonial missions that I know we'll talk more about. But to your good point, you kind of walk up those steps, 20 feet, and all of a sudden you're next to restaurants and hotels and shops and little public pocket parks and public art and vendors and what smells so good around that next corner. And it's definitely a place where you can get the Tex-Mex, but we'll talk more about the different cuisines. But we are the home of Tex-Mex and awfully proud to be so.
Rita, questions for Dee Dee.
Oh, it's been many years since I've been there, but I've never forgotten. I think about the music also. A friend of mine who's from Pittsburgh, she recently moved down to San Antonio, jazz artist, and so you can get a blend of all kinds of music.
You can. Please tell her to look me up. I'd love to meet her and go explore some of the great jazz haunts. Y'all probably remember Robert Johnson, who did
Oh yeah.
Sweet Home Chicago. Well, he recorded that in room 414 at the Gunner Hotel in downtown San Antonio, which has just undergone a multi-million dollar renovation, but with a special honor to the music heritage and to the jazz heritage.
Yes.
And you can when you check in, you can go to the library and pick out some vinyls to take to your room. But the jazz heritage is so deep there. The Carver Community Cultural Center on the historic East Side. My husband was the technical director there. So, yes, don't be jealous, girls. I saw Etta James there and just saw Mavis Staples about 3 weeks ago there.
Oh,
So
Wow.
it's one of my favorite places to go. But also in the Pearl District, there's a wonderful jazz club called Jazz Texas, kind of a speakeasy, go down the steps and let your eyes adjust and then hear the good music and have a good time. But we're also the home of great Tejano music. And don't get me wrong, if you want to go boot scooting in San Antonio, we've got some great country western roots too. And you can kick up your heels and go see a rodeo every weekend just outside San Antonio. So we've got it all in terms of music. And I think that just comes from a place like the cities I mentioned earlier that's just passionate about preserving, protecting, celebrating, and sharing. And certainly music and good cuisine as well is one of the ways to spread that love.
right.
Well, Dee Dee, a question I have for you is there's something called the Pearl District. What exactly is that?
Well, you have really hit the pulse. I tell you what, the Pearl District, going back to that blending of cultures, we talked a bit about Tex-Mex, but we're also Spanish, we're also Irish, we're also African American, we're also Jewish, but we are big time German because we took a huge influx of German immigration in the 1840s, 1860s, as I know you guys did up in your part of the world as well. And the imprint of that wonderful ethnicity and culture really still remains so strong in San Antonio. The Pearl District was the Pearl Brewery from German brewmeister Otto Kahler, who brew his Pearl beer right there on the San Antonio River, because what do you need to brew beer? Well, you need water. So he did it right there on the river. And what happened with the Pearl was that the little bubbles that came out of the beer were sort of pearlescent.
Okay.
So there became the name Pearl. Of course, it's no longer a brewery, but I'll tell you what, it's about 23 acres of the urban complex, the place to be in San Antonio. It is the home of the Hotel Emma, which is the old brew house, which I will tell you who stayed there. My girlfriend Cher, I say that like I know her, but she stayed there. And she tweeted that it was one of the most beautiful hotel that she'd ever stayed in.
Wow,
Wow.
excellent.
And it is just, they preserved everything. I tell you, they didn't let a beer cap or a broken bottle go without being incorporated into the design, the vibe, the architecture, the history. The Pearl itself is a mixture. It's a mixed use development on the river. The boats go all the way up to the Pearl. There's about 20 different restaurants there, chef driven, unique, fusion, all kinds of great creativity. There's a maker's market, there's a farmer's market, there's cultural events. There's about 500 people who live right around there. So it's always vibrant. You know, over there they're doing yoga, over there they're having a farmer's market, over here they're having a kids class, out there are the beautiful public spaces and the plazas. But I would say over about a dozen restaurants, bars, markets, food halls, the jazz club we talked about. It's home to the Culinary Institute of America. We know that from Hyde Park in New York. We also know it from Napa Valley in California. Well, the third branch is in San Antonio. And they have special courses that you and I can sign up for to kind of say, we went to a CIA course one Saturday, one weekend, and, you know, really got in there with CIA trained instructors. So it's a great experience to have. It's a lively urban hub, and it's just fun, just fun.
Excellent. Excellent. And Dee Dee, I'm going to ask you just to move over to the right or the left, just so you're more center camera for us.
Is that a little better?
Just a little bit more, I would say.
Oh,
Slide over.
San Antonio stroll. Let me stroll over to the right. Is that a little
Okay.
better?
Yes.
Okay.
That's better. Thank you so much. And now that we're in the holiday season, this is December, what's the weather like, and how should our listeners dress if they're coming to San Antonio during this time of the year?
Great question. Very mild year round. I can tell you it's probably in the mid 70s because we're going through a little bit of a heat wave right now. I always say the only ice in San Antonio is on the margaritas, and it's true. So,
Okay.
you know, I would say leave your Christmas sweaters at home, but, you know, bring maybe a light jacket. I know, I see you representing there. But very moderate, very mild, and a beautiful temperature year round. We get a little toasty in the summer, but sometimes we want to do that, right? When we want to go biking and hiking, and you can now kayak on the river, you can bike the Mission Trail. So great golf, great outdoor activities. But this time of year, to answer your question, is very mild. I would say about mid 70s, so really perfect.
It's very nice. It's in the 30s here right now, but this is
Oh.
Western Pennsylvania.
Having a
So I
heat
think
wave.
coming into the studio is about 32 to 35 degrees this morning. So yeah,
Oh,
a
girl,
little bit
we-
cold, but we're used to it. How about you, Nichelle? Questions for Dee Dee?
I remember, so um, I know that Texas does some areas, they have their own wines, but
Absolutely.
now are they doing like whiskeys and beers as well?
Isn't that it? Yes, the answer is yes. Can you imagine whiskeys in Texas? What? You know, we're not going to go big or go home. It's
That's
Texas. But I
Right.
love that you said that, because we love that we're located just on the cusp of the Texas Hill Country out there in Fredericksburg and all those beautiful cities that make beautiful day trips and beautiful day drives. But I think there's about 150 wineries in the Texas Hill Country right now, which are great. And it just seems to me whenever you've got wine country going, the next thing you know, you have distilleries, right? And people making their own vodka and making their own whiskey. And we are definitely doing that and taking advantage of the beautiful water and waterways and the topography of the hill country. So you can have that if you can make it a day of tasting. And of course, it seems to me, and I know you're so well traveled, I listened to your I want to sign up for this cruise, girls. You've got me all excited about
Excellent,
it.
excellent. We would
Count
love
me
to
in.
have you. Would love to have
Oh,
you.
I tell ya, I love it. Thank you, ma'am. But it seems that drives a whole culinary explosion, right? So now, besides people going tasting the wineries and doing the distilleries and doing the special vodkas and all that, then you'll find these little chef-driven restaurants and little nooks and crannies. So definitely be exploding as a culinary destination. I can tell you it's the second year of the Michelin Awards for Texas, and San Antonio is proudly represented with, gosh, over a dozen Michelin nods. So that's super. We talked about Culinary Institute of America. We've got all the James Beard Award winners. But like you were talking earlier about the cruise, sometimes it's just that little street vendor or that
Yep.
neighborhood or that, hey, local, where do you and your family go for, a great brunch on Sunday? And San Antonio's really got that in strides. We talk about Southtown, just south of downtown. We talk about the King William district of Midtown, the Pearl that you mentioned, but also encourage people to go out to the neighborhoods and kind of go find that distillery, go find that little winery, and then find out where are people eating after it closes down. And that's what I love to do, and I hope others do as well.
The other question I have for you too is in terms of where to stay. Our listeners like to find places to stay, that it's more budget friendly, but then they want the luxury. So one of the places that we had, and correct me how to pronounce this, but Drury Plaza Hotel, San Antonio River Walk. And then we, that was more on the budget side, but then we had the Hotel Emma, which is in the Pearl District. So tell us about the different places, hotels, bed and breakfasts that, you have the option to stay at when you're visiting San Antonio.
You have picked some real gems. I love that. I went to college with the Drury family, and they're a wonderful family that have properties all over. One thing I love they've done in San Antonio at the property you mentioned, it's at the Alamo National Bank building from 1920. Going back to what I said is we don't tear it down, we don't throw it away, right? So they certainly have a variety of properties all over San Antonio, but the Riverwalk Plaza is beautiful. I think their happy hour and breakfast, you have to kind of go up the swirling staircase to where the bankers, where you check in at the tellers, there's a little private bar in the bank vault. So everything is very unique and boutique-y in terms of that property. The Emma, of course, is that brew house hotel that I mentioned that Cher stayed in with all the historic, and they have a wonderful bar there called Sternewerth, a wonderful restaurant called Supper. And again, you'll see, that's a gorgeous chandelier, and you look closer and it's made out of pearl bottles. So it wins all kinds of awards from Condé Nast Traveler, from Travel and Leisure. So there's upscale, there's the full scale resorts. We have 3 in San Antonio where you can get the spa experience, the full golf experience, wonderful cuisine, and have that full resort. But we have every flag that's going. And San Antonio is a very affordable destination. You can stay in the Hotel Emma, but you can also stay at the Drury. You can stay at a B&B, but you can stay at these unique boutique properties that might be a Hilton or a Marriott that, by the way, was the Cotton Building, by the way, was the Oil Exchange, by the way, was this wonderful bank building like we talked about, where you get that little mix of history as well as beautiful accommodations. But I'll tell you, going back to Will Rogers, I think the thing that touches people is the spirit of hospitality of the people of San Antonio. There's 150,000 of us who do what I do, and people, I remember somebody said, well, where do all these people get their training in San Antonio? Where, they're all so hospitable and friendly and welcoming. And the truth is, we just love where we live. And we're proud to be from there, and there's a passion, and we love to show it off, and we love to share it. And with that, I think that exudes, and it's something you can't train, and you can't put money to, and that's what we hope people go back and say, I want to go back to Sunny because it made me feel so good. What does Maya say? You always remember how people made you feel.
Yeah,
and in
that's
San Antonio, you're going to go away feeling like I was welcome there, and I felt loved there, and I felt encouraged, and I want to explore some more, and somebody recommended something in their neighborhood. I'm going to go back and check that out next time.
Well, listeners, if you would like to call in and talk with Dee Dee, you can call 412-213-8995, or you can text us at 412-218-3888. I do have a text. The text says, how do you distinguish yourself between Houston and Austin, Texas?
That's a wonderful question. And, when you talk about a place as big as Texas, who, we are our own country, and and the fact that they have 2 of the biggest cities in America, in Texas. And I go to Austin and Houston all the time because I'm always out there promoting San Antonio to our wonderful drive market. And I love going to visit them, but they are so different in their own beautiful way. You know, in Austin, I feel like I'm hip and I'm in college and I want to go hear music and I, you know, and go hang out with the university kids, and it is just so cutting edge. I love it. In Houston, I feel so international and so continental and want to experience all their blended cultures. So I love going to visit those great cities, but when you go to San Antonio, all of a sudden, like I said, your blood pressure drops. Your spirit of hospitality comes out. All of a sudden you just feel like you're with family and you feel comfortable and you want to try something new, and we're so walkable. You know, love Austin, love Houston, but in San Antonio you can walk, and the Alamo is free, this beautiful Spanish colonial missions are free, the Riverwalk is free. It's all right there, walkable, hikeable, bikeable, and easy to get around. And you don't always get that in some of the other places, is all I'm saying.
And Nichelle brought up too about the food. So tell me again about the food, the difference, the varieties.
Well, absolutely. And going back to kind of the roots, we are the home of Tex-Mex. And, you know, there are other parts of Texas that, of course, have that experience as well, because we were Spain, we were Mexico. For a while, we were France, you know, and we were our own country for 10 years. And there's this very big Texas pride that is palpable when you get there. And that is manifested in the food and the cuisine. But what's also, Texas is a Native American word that means friendly. So when you talk about other cultures coming in and blending and bringing their gifts, the St. Anthony Hotel, beautiful historic hotel, just opened a new restaurant called Sensia, if I'm not mispronouncing it. The chef there, Leo Davila, fantastic. One of his parents is Chinese, one is Hispanic. Well, he's bringing that blend of cuisines and presenting a beautiful menu there. So, you know, it's one of those things where you want to go deep into the destination and experience, you know, the interpretation. And going back to why people love to live there and work there, could these chefs get up tomorrow and move to LA, Chicago? You darn right they could. But they choose to live in San Antonio because of the quality of life, and that just manifests to our visitors as well.
I would add to that not only the quality of life, but they're sourcing food from around the state. So if you're having, you know, seafood, that seafood was probably brought into San Antonio. That's what I love about San Antonio is I can, like I brought up the wines and, you know, what else do they make? I can be in San Antonio and not have to leave to experience wines of the hill country or the whiskeys of Texas or the food, you know, of like you said, the different interpretations. But the actual ingredients are sourced from around the state, whether it's seafood, whether it's vegetables, seasonings, because there are areas that are drier than others, so they can grow certain seasonings and all that. And it is just, you know, and we've talked about that, how when you go to Europe, the food is different. Why? Because it doesn't have all this stuff added to it and all that. The same thing when you go, and, you know, I'm not bad mouthing the other states. I'm not talking badly about any of the other cities, but when you are in a state that can truly, you know, be their own resource,
Right.
it takes the food that you eat to a different level.
Yeah.
Beautifully said, beautifully said. And I would add to that the ranches, the ranch life. You know, the original Texas ranches started with the vaqueros, which became the American cowboy. The vaqueros ranched around the Spanish colonial missions. So much of that fresh sourcing, you know, can you get beautiful, you know, vegan and vegetarian? Of course you can. But, you know, you can also go to some of the best steakhouses, to the best sizzling fajitas, to the best margaritas, some of those. And, you know, I hate to be stereotypical in that, but think about some of the cities I mentioned at the top of this. You know, you're going to go explore new things, but you also want to go have great Creole and Cajun when you're in New Orleans.
Absolutely.
You want to go have great Tex-Mex when you're in San Antonio. And then you kind of fold out from there and ripple out. But I love what you said about locally sourcing and keeping it close. And we are so blessed in that way to have that that economy that can inspire these chefs. And they're out there. One guy told me the other day he wants to be 100 complete locally sourced in his restaurant, and he's working towards that. But, you know, you can also get those great empanadas that you mentioned at the beginning, those pumpkin empanadas. So
Yeah.
they sound good.
So it really is a region, a city for everybody. Everyone can find something to do, something to eat, something to purchase, and something to visit while in San Antonio.
And
I
our
want to capitalize.
listeners, I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry, just want to add to that. We haven't talked about families. We've got the largest SeaWorld because it's Texas, right?
Oh,
Everything's
okay.
bigger. We've got Six
Everything's
Flags
big in
Fiesta Texas. We've got Morgan's Wonderland. I mean, in Morgan's Wonderland, y'all, was formed by a gentleman whose daughter had special needs, and he was a real estate developer and made many blessings in that field. And he said, I'm going to make a place where people of all needs can come and have a theme park experience.
Beautiful.
And Morgan's Wonderland, named after his daughter, is gotten huge. There's a movie in the makes about it right now, where you can go in there and every single ride, no matter if it's a zip line or a carousel or a roller coaster or a train, is accessible for folks of all need. And that doesn't mean necessarily children. There may be somebody who's been in a wheelchair all their life who's never had that swing experience or that carousel, that Ferris wheel experience.
Yes.
And then Morgan's accommodates and is complimentary for everybody with special needs all year round. So that's San Antonio: family, fun, history, culinary, cuisine, culture, but with a big Texas-sized heart.
Excellent.
One thing that a lot of people think of when they think San Antonio is the Alamo.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Alamo.
And I want to thank you for that, because we are undergoing the $550 million Alamo plan right now,
Oh, wow.
opening in 27,
Okay.
and parts of it are opening in chunks. And you know who started all this is British rock star Phil Collins.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Isn't that a head scratcher?
Yes, yes, that is.
No. Growing up, he loved the Alamo, and he became the largest collector of Alamo memorabilia ever. And then he got a little older, and he said, you know what, Alamo, if you do a couple of things, I'm going to give you my collection. And he threw down the challenge of telling the entire deep, rich story of the Alamo, reestablishing the original boundaries, and building a world-class visitor center and museum. And all of that is happening right now. And the Alamo Promenade just opened, connecting the Riverwalk to the Alamo, because they're right there next to each other.
Right.
Ladies, I always say the story of Alamo is that the Spanish priest built a church by the river. That's the story of San Antonio. So the Alamo is right there. And then, of course, we have the 4 other Spanish colonial missions, which are only 13 miles, the only UNESCO World Heritage Site in Texas. But I'm glad you said that. The Alamo is the heart and soul of San Antonio, half a block from the Riverwalk, which is the lifeblood, and things are happening there. So if you haven't, if you say, maybe I've been to the Alamo, I'm going to check that off my list. Dee Poteete says, you get back there, because things are happening, and keep your eye on 27 at the cradle of Texas liberty.
Excellent, excellent. So Dee, we just have a few more minutes, and thank you for staying on. Just 2 things. Tell us, in terms of vacationing there, what would be a range in terms of the cost if someone was going to be there for a week? The budget level, and then if we just go all out and do luxury. And then I would like you finally to give us the website and a way to get in contact with you, so that our listeners know exactly how to schedule their trip and go on your social media or website to find out even more about this great city. So first is, give us the cost of what it would cost to actually vacation there.
I love those questions, and I almost reverse them, where I say you can plan your own trip at visitsanantonio.com. And because it's hard to put a dollar figure, because going back to, it's easy to get to, it's in the center of the country. So many airlines fly there, easy to drive to. The range of properties, you can go on and find a fantastic deal, or you can spend a share night in San Antonio if you want to. You can make a luxury experience, or you can have a family vacation that is very affordable, and going back to all the things that I mentioned that were free. And we're very family oriented. So I'm not going to go there with a dollar figure, but I'm going to reverse it and say, go to visitsanantonio.com and go to our hotels and start planning your agenda and your itinerary. And you can look at price points. You can look at parts of the city. We often have specials and deals, depending on the season, where you can, I would say, stretch your vacation pesos in San Antonio. So, but I will tell you that folks can do it on a very family budget, but they also can go luxe. So it's not like that cruise like y'all were talking about, where you can go online and there's price points and you can click the box, because you really have to build your own experience. But you can do it very reasonably in San Antonio and get so much value for your money. That's the thing. You're steeped in Texas history. You're having this experience. You're on the river walk. You're on a river boat going by a San Antonio City Pass, which gets you into 4 or 5 destinations. And you can't put a dollar figure to that. I know I sound like a PR person saying it's priceless, but girls, I think we've been together long enough today that you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
Absolutely, and that's
And
what
don't
our
forget the
listeners
San
want.
Antonio Spurs are there for all the sports listeners to DSEN.
Right.
The San Antonio Spurs are there. And one of the things that, make it a vacation, but maybe the Spurs are not your team, but look and see who the Spurs are playing.
Right.
Because if they're playing your team, you're trying to take family on vacation, like you can roll all of that into one thing.
That's a great point, because whenever we go out of town, we are looking at what sporting events are happening in that particular city. And, for me, just to be able to see a NBA game would be phenomenal. So I might be there cheering for both teams. But you're seeing, you're seeing guys, and we have to say the WNBA as well. I mean, you're seeing athletes at the highest level. So why not, be able to capitalize on that while you're on vacation as well? So, well, Dee Dee, it's been fantastic. We do have another question before we let you go. This is Kevin Cameron, actually the station owner. He has a question, and Mr. Kevin, what would that be?
Yes, thanks a lot. I have a real important question
Okay.
for Dee Dee down there in San Antonio, Texas. How's it going, Dee Dee?
Woohoo! Yeehaw. Go big or go home. We're doing great.
Yeah, go big or go home. I have a sports question, and I understand there's a basketball team down in San Antonio that's doing some big things. So
we're mighty proud.
There you go. So how is that experience watching an NBA game in San Antonio?
Oh, you know what? Thank you for that. Go Spurs, go. We are so proud of our 5, NBA world champion Spurs, and they are doing big things.
Yes.
We're proud of that little boy Wimby. What's he? 7 something? I don't know how tall that young man is.
Close to 8.
There you go. Yeah, I know. But such a wonderful person, and such a what I love about the Spurs is just the camaraderie and the good people that they are. And I'm dating myself for the David Robinson, Tony Parker, Manu days, but we're very proud of that team. But the experience is wonderful. They're playing close to downtown, and going back to that pride and passion, you will get caught up in the spirit of San Antonio. And even if you're rooting for the other team, like you were saying, you're gonna come out of there and everybody will be hugging and loving on each other, and heading downtown to have a good time right after. So it's part of the experience, and tickets are what they are, but like I said, you balance it with the cost of everything else in San Antonio, and you'll still get, a big bang for your buck because of the whole destination experience. So Go Spurs, go.
That's right. And just to let you know, Dee Dee, I have media credentials, so I might have to make a trip to San Antonio and connect with you and go to an NBA game, check out the Spurs. They just beat, and I'm going to plug my show while I'm at it as well. They just beat OKC 2 games in a row. Just beat them on Christmas, actually. And so, they're doing big things. And my show is Soul Take, and it's a live Pittsburgh sports show that comes on every Tuesday from 6 to 8 p.m. So we'll be talking about the Spurs as well.
Well, thank you for that, and let me know if you head our way, and I'd be happy to connect you with our media relations friends at the Spurs. And one thing we'll promise is everybody will leave having a good time. So let me know if you head my way, guys.
And I'm not going by myself. Francine will be joining me also.
And Rita might have to carry a
and
cake.
Rita says she might have to go. What about you, Nichelle? You want to join us in San Antonio?
I'm already packing my bag.
Okay. All right.
Because that's
I'm
like
on the
going home for
cruise. Y'all are coming
Nichelle.
to San Antonio. We're just trading all the good things today.
Excellent. I'm going to have to
That's
look at
right.
that schedule. All right. Thanks a lot, Dee Dee. I'll turn it back over to Francine.
Excellent. So,
My
Dee Dee,
pleasure.
thank you so much for being here with us. We're just so excited to have you on, and we love what is going on in San Antonio.
Right.
And, you know, right now, I would love to be there. I'll take that 70 degrees.
Absolutely.
I will take that 70 degrees. So, Dee Dee, please don't be a stranger. Definitely, we'd love to have you on the cruise, and I think you'll see us in your wonderful city.
Yeah, and you know what else, Dee Dee? Tell all your friends to go to the website because this show, like others, is recorded. So if any conversations we have here on live can be heard in 24 hours.
Absolutely
Well,
right. And we
it's-
would love for you to subscribe. There's only 3 fields you have to complete, and you'll see Kevin's information on his shows, Rita, Nichelle, and I, and we would love to have you join us as part of the family and subscribe to the radio station. You'll see the great things that we're doing. And again, we have folks listening to us on average from 90 different countries as well.
Right.
So not only
Wow.
the U.S., but across the world. But Dee Dee, thank you
Wow.
so much for being with us. We enjoyed having you on, and we
Yes.
want to wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, and a blessing for 2020.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll take it. It's been an honor. Been an honor. Thank you all so much. We'll see you on the cruise, or we'll see you in San Antonio.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dee
Happy New
Dee.
Year to you.
Take care.
Wonderful
Bye-bye.
conversation. Wonderful.
Yes.
Excellent. So, ladies, I tell you, every time we have the experts on talking about their great city, it just makes me want to go immediately.
No.
And I tell you, Nichelle and Rita, you ladies are excellent and world travelers. I mean, you know, I've been to Texas. I've been to several of the cities like Houston, et cetera. But you all have that boots on the ground experience. I mean, Nichelle, you lived in Texas, and Rita, you traveled there. And the reason why I bring that up is for our listeners, you know, when we decide what cities we're going to talk about, 9 times out of 10, either we've been there, we've experienced it, and you all just talked about it today. San Antonio just sounds like a wonderful, wonderful city to visit. You know, so listeners, if it wasn't on your bucket list, this might be something that needs to, you know, to be added. You know, and like they say, everything is big in Texas.
It is. It actually is. It really is. It's a nice place. It's just a nice place to be in a state that anything you want to do, you can do within the state. And San Antonio, being its center, kind of a show place, is just incredible. It really is incredible, and it's nice. And you know, going back to people, you know, not wanting to deal with this identity, because some people have a true phobia against their information being known, like
True.
you know,
Mhm.
and with everything going on. Well, guess what? You can pull out a map, go get a triptych, and you can drive to San Antonio.
Mhm.
I think from Pittsburgh, if I remember correctly, it took me 2 people driving a full 24 hours.
Not
Because we
bad.
just went nonstop. We didn't stop anywhere. If you do it by yourself, you can do it in a day and a half,
Mhm.
which I've also done by myself. So you can drive, because we talk about driving places,
That's
making
right.
things more convenient. And, you know, for those who are, I'm not even going to say on a budget, for those who are wanting to do other things with their money, but also to vacation, these are different places and different angles that you can, you know, I really want to get away. We want to get away to a beach. Oh, okay, so maybe Florida, maybe South Carolina, which we didn't talk about today. Oh, I'd really like to go somewhere and experience like a whole world of culture. Well, now we know San Antonio is one of those places that you can put on that I want to experience culture list. I want great seafood. You know what? We can get to a cruise. The upside to a cruise is once you pay for the cruise, everything's paid for. Like we talk about that. One of the reasons why we love all-inclusive resorts. And don't be
Right.
fooled. There's a lot of resorts out there and a lot of cruise ships where everything's not a buffet, where it's a sit-down dinner, it's Michelin star food, um, different types of restaurant, different types of foods. So all of that, you can be had it. And again, it's not so much about budget, but like if you're looking to retire in the next 2 to 3 years, but you still want to retire, maybe you don't want to spend $10,000 on a European vacation, but you figure, without the promotions right now, it would be 4,000 that we can 4,000 for the whole cruise. 250 minus 250 because we've already paid, I think it's $2,085 for one of the balcony rooms right now in our contract. It's right before the holiday season, so we've locked in that pricing. But whatever the promotion is at the time is going to be applied. But you figure $2,000 a person. Our meals are paid for. Plenty of free activities. We just have to sign up. You have to just say, oh, there'll be 2 tonight for that show, 1 tonight for this show. All of that is taken care of for you on this cruise, allowing you to take whatever other money you normally would have spent and put it towards preparing for retirement, or put it towards maybe you're getting something done on your house. Maybe this is the year that you have to buy a new car, but you also want to go on vacation. You know what? I think I'm going to do that cruise thing with DSEN. That way I can pay on it little by little all year. And once I set foot on that, I can set up an alert and wherever you do your flights to let me know this is the price range we want to spend for flights. This is the dates that we want to be there. And it's all set. And now you can focus on getting the best deal for the car that you have to buy this year. So there are a lot of ways, to do things. People love to tell me, oh, I'd love to do a group and go to St. Martin's. Oh, I've always wanted to go to St. Thomas, but oh, I just can't afford it. Well, let's take your happy hour money. Let's take some of your pizza eating out money. Let's absolutely take, oh shoot, I didn't pack a lunch money. Let's take that, because if you oh shoot and don't pack a lunch, that's $20 right there.
Absolutely.
Right.
When you break it down like that, it makes it affordable. It makes it easy to digest.
Absolutely. So we have a couple texts that come in. One person texts, I don't have a lot of mobility. Will I still be able to enjoy myself on the cruise?
Yes. You'll be able to enjoy yourself on the cruise. If you don't have a lot of mobility, also be sure that even before the cruise, when you're at the airline, that you sign up and let the airline know that you'll need an additional help, because these airports are huge now, and so you should get that help. As well as once you get to the cruise, yes, there'll be things that you can do. You may not be able to go zip lining, or do the largest water slide, but you'll still be able to enjoy the pools. You'll still be able to enjoy the shows. You'll still be able to get around the ship. It might take you a little bit, or you might have to ring the bell for assistance, but you'll still be able to do all of those things.
And then the other question is, what about motion sickness? This will be my first cruise, and I heard that most people get motion sickness. What can I do about that?
So I would, first and foremost, before you start talking to the gallery about what to take, I would check with your physician, because if you're taking other medications, you have other medical things where somebody says, oh, just take these Dramamine, you can pick them up at Giant Eagle. That might counter or work against some of the other medications that you're on. So I would tell you to get in touch with your doctor first as far as medication goes. There are different tricks that different people use to adjust themselves to being on a ship that's moving. Sometimes people pay attention to, okay, what time it's pulling out of port, because that's when the shift is different, right? It's not a smooth shift. They're turning the boat. And what some people do is they make sure they are sitting someplace. And some people work well with being able to sit facing the front of the boat and looking out onto the water. Some people, it's more stabilizing for them to not look out of the windows to see what direction we're going, but to just sit themselves. Some people go back to their cabins and lay down. That is a help for them. And then some people, just like with flying, they belly up to the bar, and that helps them. It just depends on the person. But I would definitely, if you're someone who sometimes gets car sick, if you're someone who doesn't do well on local boats like the Gateway Clipper or something like that, or someone who even feels uneasy going across a bridge, I would talk to your physician about it and find out if there's any type of medication that would help you during that. But there's also a small health unit on the boat. So if you do become ill, you become seasick, etc., they can help you. They have tons of experience in it, all different levels and types, and they can also help you during those moments.
It was funny. So when we went on our cruise for our honeymoon, I thought I was going to get motion sickness. And so I took the Dramamine, didn't really need it. It made me all wishy-washy, So sometimes people say, oh, I'm going to get morning sickness, but make sure you're not taking the medicine and you really don't need it, because I took it and I really didn't need it.
One thing that I've found to be true, this is my experience, is that the larger ships, you don't necessarily feel the movement like you did with the smaller, older ships. That's just like
it's because of how they're made.
Yes.
So it's more technology, just like in a car.
Right.
More technology to stabilize it. That's why I said some people don't feel it, but they feel it when the boat is pulling out of the port because it has to turn and shift, and they feel that part of it.
Yeah.
Or when it's docking, they can feel that. They can actually. Some people have said they could feel it stop. But it's so large, it's so big. It's like being on an airplane, where unless the plane is going through turbulence or shifting, if you're on a 12, 13-hour flight, you can't tell that it's moving.
Right. So we
I
have
mean,
another.
you know
I'm sorry.
logically, but you can't tell. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
There's another question. Does the cruise ship ever do tours of the actual ship, that you can see the galley, you can see where the captain is? Do you know anything about that?
They actually do. Depending on the cruise ship, you can sign up for that ahead of time and put your name on a list, and you can take a tour of the boat. They also have those tours when boats are docked. If you get in touch with whether it's Royal Caribbean, Celebrity Cruises, etc., you can get in touch with them through their website and their representatives. And if you email me, I can find that for you if there's a specific ship that you're looking to do that. And when they're docked, you can actually take a tour as well.
So, Nichelle, I think that would be good for our ship, Icon of the Seas, if we can find out how to sign up for tours of the actual ship. I think that would be good.
Yeah, well, I'll do that.
Another question is, what happens if I sign up for a balcony, but then I decide I want an ocean view? Will that be difficult to change rooms?
It won't be that difficult to change rooms if we have it available within our contract still, the ones that we reserved. It won't be that difficult to change. That'd be something I would have to do for you. It may get a little sticky if you get on the ship, you have a balcony, and then you decide you don't want a balcony, because that is, even when we do it, it's going to have to do with availability. Right? But once the ship is booked and sailing and you have a problem with the room, then they're going to have to see what's available. If it's fully booked, they may not have a lot of wiggle room, but then that goes back to you've gone with a group, and there may be someone who's willing to, switch with you, because you've made these new friends.
Right.
So there are those, everything like that. You can't really give a total general answer because it's a case by case.
Okay, sure. And then the other question, last question we have is, what happens if I have, there's two people in the room and then I have a third person? Is it would it be a problem to upgrade and get a larger room? So they had originally booked a 2-bedroom, and now they need 3.
No, it's again, doing it prior to the ship taking off is a little bit easier than we're in mid or we're closer to time of departure. But if you need to change that now, that's just the coordination, and I can change that and have that and then it would still be, that room would still be a part of the group.
Good. Well, ladies, we are almost out of town. Out of time.
That too.
Michelle
You've gone
is out
already?
of town.
You're already
Yeah.
in San Antonio?
I've already packed up. I'm already ready to cruise, ready to go to San Antonio. So I just want to make sure that our listeners heard when Nichelle announced this earlier. So deposits we're taking is $250 per person. So if you have 2 in a cabin, that would be $500. Depending on when you pay and when you decide to make changes, if you end up, something comes up that you can't cruise with us, it'll be a sliding scale in terms of how much you can be refunded. But I know generally there's usually a non-refundable deposit. So, you really need to work very closely with Nichelle. So we're hoping that, everyone, as many people as possible, can come with us. You can definitely be on a payment plan, but the final payment will be due August the 9th of 2026. So again, everybody has to put down the deposit of $250 per person. The cabin would be $500 deposit, and then the final payment would be August 9th, 2026. So we encourage you to go on to Pittsburgh's DSEN website, go on to Point Breeze Travel's website. When you go to Point Breeze Travel website, you'll have all of Nichelle's contact information. Please reach out to her. This is not the last time you'll hear about the cruise. Right. We'll talk about it probably every broadcast until we get on that ship. So know that more information will come. We want to encourage everybody to come with us. I think it's going to be a blast. There's going to be so much to do, so little to do. But as Nichelle said earlier, it's going to be your vacation, so you do what you want, how you want. But we will have special events just for the Pittsburgh DSEN listeners so that we can all get together as a group, as a family. So, Rita, last thoughts and comments before we wrap the show up?
Well, my head is all over the place right now. I'm thinking about past cruises where I won a couple things. I won the limbo contest.
Okay, Miss Rita. All right.
I created a cocktail which was served for the day. I won't tell you the name of that cocktail, but I won.
Okay,
yeah,
love
so it was
it.
so much to do. It's so much fun. Yeah.
Excellent. How about you, Miss Nichelle?
So I just want to piggyback off of the payments part. So roughly that's about $261 per person up until the amount is due.
Per day.
But
per month,
with
right?
payments, yes, per month. But with the payments, what's great about them is you determine how much you want to pay every month. It doesn't have to be a set amount. So you could, some people, I've had people wait who still get tax refunds, and then they put the deposit down now, and then they pay the whole thing off. I've had other people who they might pay the deposit, maybe put 100 or so down in between. Some people split it up, divide it out, and actually give 261 times 2 every single month. So you determine your budget and how that's going to work for you. This isn't, okay, they're going to make me pay. No, the system will send you payment reminders every month just to remind you. But you determine when and how you pay, as long as you paid by the final date.
Excellent.
When the final deposit is due. But I'm excited. I'm excited about this. This is wave season. What most people do is they wait until, just like with vacations, people wait until it's almost time for vacation and then go, ooh, we want to go, and either the rooms aren't available that they want to go, the cabins aren't available, the pricing is out of this world, or now what I'm seeing with a lot of people, especially people who cruise a lot, is the cruise itself is a deal, but then the flights are outrageous because so many of the airlines now are cutting back on what they used to include and what they used to give you to fly with them. So now is the time to sit down with your family, map out these vacations, map out where you want to go, and begin to put that budget in place. And okay, if we're going to do this, then maybe we won't do this over here. But you can also see great shows on the ship. And so there's, I mean, it's just, you know, there's so many things where people say, oh, I wanted to do this year, that this year. Okay, well, with a cruise, you can do it all.
Absolutely.
You don't have to worry about driving. You don't have to worry about trying to get there, trying to get back home. Everything you need. It's a. I think we said it earlier. It's its own city. It's a sailing city, the city of icon of the seas.
Yes, and like you said, Nichelle, cousin who is a cruise expert, we need to have her come on the show. She says she loves a cruise because she unpacks once, you know, just once. And thinking about that, that's excellent. And I think our next broadcast, we should talk about the different shows that might possibly be, you know, that we'll have an opportunity to go to. And I mean, we did that very thing when we went on our cruise. We went to shows, we went to the nightclubs. I told you guys, we went to the movies because we were so tired. But our next broadcast is going to be January 31st. So in between now and January 31st, if you have questions about our cruise, please get in touch with us. Start putting together your budget. We love have you all join us. This is going to be an excellent experience. And so I want to wish everybody a happy new year and thank everybody for, you know, just supporting Pittsburgh's DSEN in 2025. You know, we love to have you continue with us on this journey. Know that we have, if you like soul music, you will thoroughly love the different segments of shows that we have. You know, so when our broadcast is over, please keep the radio turned on because you're going to hear wonderful music after our show disconnects. And then know that we have gospel, we have jazz, we brought back the Quiet Storm, we have old school, we have reggae, you know, so we have soulful music for everyone. Yes. And we just asked you to go on to our website and sign up, be a listener, regular listener, and you will get all of the information on all of our programming. Right. We also have several other live shows. We have Soul Take, which is Tuesday from 6 to 8. We have Cocoa with Jesus, which is on Wednesdays from 7 to 8. And then we have, back in 2026, Dr. Linda Bing talks about all different type of relationships and different questions. And her show is on Mondays starting at 8 to 10. So you can listen to Pittsburgh's DSEN 24/7 like I do, and there will definitely be something that we'll absolutely love. And so on that note, before Kevin gives me the hook, I'm signing off and saying thank you all for listening. And please come join us, cruise with us, November 7th through the 14th, 2026. You don't want to miss it.
You don't want to miss it. And Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year to everyone.
And Happy Kwanzaa.
Yes.
Happy Kwanzaa. Day 2. Excellent.
Do you have your ticket? Are you paid in full? Well, everybody say, huh. 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 A song you have made one of the funkiest songs in America. And now the world over. Y'all ready to jam? Y'all, one more time. It feels good like, yeah, stop, fucking the groove, say.